Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Kuala Lumpur. It's been a while again. Happy last day of Chinese New Year. For those who don't know, today is the 15th last day of Chinese New Year, and on this channel, in this house, we say Happy Chinese New Year and not the bullshit woke term Happy Lunar New Year, just like how we say Merry Christmas instead of the bullshit woke term Happy Holidays. So today I wanted to talk about a term that I've been personally using for the last many years. I've used this term on a couple of previous videos, I think, and I think it's important to explain in this dedicated video on what this term means because A, this is a term that I'll be using quite frequently on my future videos. I think I use this term a lot in real life and it's bound to spill over to my videos. So it's important that we understand what this term means. And B, there's a lot of plzbros that we all deal with in real life every single day. You probably have dealt with a lot of plzbros yourself, just that you didn't really have a single word term to describe those kinds of people that exist as pretty much a large section of society that we deal with. This term plzbro, which is please, PLZ, right, is a shorthand for the full spelling of please, bro, wasn't originally coined by me. I originally heard this term almost 10 years ago from Louis Rossmann, who does Macbook repair, right? So he has actually created a Urban Dictionary definition that you can read up over here on what a plzbro is in the context of MacBook mobile device repair. But I found this term to be, like I said, very useful because it describes a lot of people that exist outside of that repair space. It basically is a characteristic of many NPCs that we deal with. And if you're wondering what an NPC means and your first instinct right now in your head is to want to type in the comment section down below or go on a social media or some internet forum like Reddit or Xiaohongshu, the little red book, aka Chinese Reddit, and type on there, what is an NPC? What does it mean? You, by very definition, are a plzbro. Because what a plzbro is someone who asks questions first and does their own research later, which usually means never. Because the plzbro is a person who wants answers to be constructed to them and explained and spoon-fed to them in great detail, and they want to be able to ask follow-up questions that they also have derived answers from by doing their own research to that very person or multiple people in the context of internet forums. So you'll see this a lot online, but you also probably notice this in real life. There was things like job searching, day trading, a lot of usually knowledge-based information and skills that you could easily learn by going online and doing an internet search, or nowadays you have many AI tools like your chat GPTs of the world, and you could just type in your question there like when you're typing on an internet forum, and that AI is going to spit out that answer to you just like a person would, except it does it in real time instantly like that. You wouldn't have to wait on someone else on the internet to reply to your question. But no, these people have to ask someone. They have to type it in the YouTube comments. They have to go on a Reddit or Xiaohongshu and ask these basic bitch questions that they could have done and answered a long time ago by themselves by just doing a search, typing that question into AI. And this is the mentality that really ties up to the kinds of people who spend the rest of their lives working a dead-ass day job in the office every day and not wanting to do anything to improve their quality of life that they constantly complain about, right? This ties in deeply into that topic that I've talked about many times previously on this channel. If you have no self-drive, if you have no motivation to even get the simplest questions answered yourself, and you have to rely on someone else to spoon feed you the answer, well, isn't it a surprise that you're going around town saying, well, if you start your own business, it's a lot of risk. If you do day trading, 97% of day traders fail and lose their money and just give up. You know, a lot of people fail at doing business. A lot of people fail at day trading. A lot of people fail at this, that, and the other. Is it any surprise that these people are going about town telling this bullshit to everyone that they know, right? Because that's something that they just heard from someone else. They don't do any of their research. They rely on someone else spoon feeding them the answer, and they take that answer and they basically use it as a fact of life because they don't bother to do any research. They don't bother to see if that definition or what has been explained to them is wrong or accurate or could it have been done better. They just want answers now, and they don't want to think. right? So what do? They go on the internet, they do an internet search, they go on their social media, they scroll their social media feed, they read the headlines of those stories, and they never even bother to click on those stories, right? That's how a lot of clickbait articles work. They have these clickbait headlines, and that's how a lot of bullshit spreads around, because the headline doesn't actually reflect what's written in the body section of the article. But because these people have such short attention spans, no drive to do any research, no motivation to basically make themselves independent of other people, how is it a surprise that they are ending up in exactly the same hamster wheel, the same stationary bike that they've been on the last 5, 10, 15 years since they graduated college, and will be on for the foreseeable future until their eventual retirement, and maybe more, because if everyone has this mentality that they don't want to do anything for themselves and they don't want to make change, the retirement age is eventually going to go up as a result of a large-scale domino effect, which you can think about this yourself, eventually explain in a longer video. The retirement age is going to go up, and these people are just going to be cycling on their stationary bike, going to the office every single day, getting their day-to-day work done, getting their monthly paycheck, paying their bills with not enough savings left, and then bitching to their friends that their job is shit, that their salary is shit. Well, if you got off your ass and wanted to do something that solved your problems, well, you'd be out of the complaining circle. And this very same logic, right, is a macro version of a plzbro. A plzbro is when someone tries to get out the hamster wheel, for example. Something that I've been doing recently is learning how to day trade, and I see plzbros a lot. And in my opinion, the number of plzbros seems to increase exponentially depending on how close you get to directly making money. So the closer you get to the money, the more plzbros you're going to see. That's why you get a lot more plzbros when it comes to financial advice, trading advice, properties, things that have potential to make you a lot of money compared to something like, let's say, cooking, where a lot of people kind of look down on food and beverage businesses. They don't see restaurants or cafes as something that could make a shit ton of money from, and consequently, you're not going to see as many plzbros. So let me give you that example from my trading journey in the last 1 year or so, where I've gone on to multiple resources, these being YouTube channels, Discord groups, Reddit threads, a whole bunch of other things, and been looking for good resources to learn up on day trading. So there's this one guy that I've been following who actually trades Forex, which I originally didn't trade prior to Christmas, but have now started to try trading. He talks about Forex, but I originally found him because he has a lot of good videos on trading mindset and the right state of mind to get into, because that's really 90% of the work that you need to do. The actual learning, the technicals part is actually very little in trading, right? And like I said, I was watching him primarily for trading mindset, but he would kind of talk about this sometimes within those Forex videos, which at the time I didn't trade. So I would watch those videos anyway, just to get whatever tidbits from inside those videos that he might drop. And what I noticed in the YouTube comments is that he gets the same kinds of comments every single time. What kind of currency pairs do you trade? How much money do you trade with? How much leverage do you use? What kind of indicators do you use? And then in many of these Forex videos where he talks about how to trade Forex, he gets the very question. So can you teach us how to trade Forex? Can you teach us your methodology on how to trade? Can you teach us what you're seeing in terms of the charts and how you get into trades and how you exit? If any of these people who asked those questions did anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of research, which is a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, they could find all the answers to their questions without ever having to type in the YouTube comments. He talks about how much money he uses to trade in many of his videos, which you don't even have to watch. You just have to go into the search bar on his channel and type in trades, previous trades, trade history, trade log, trade journal. And you can find his trading journals along with how much money he uses, how much leverage he uses, what kind of Forex pairs he trades. You can find all the answers to those questions by either A, doing a search on his YouTube video channel, or B, watching a bunch of his videos, which admittedly are a bit long, but you could just put 2x speed. The guy doesn't really talk that fast, so 2x speed just sounds like me talking at a normal pace over here at this point, right? Or you could do both of those things. Do a search, watch his previous videos. Don't hop right into the first video that you see on his channel. Watch 20 seconds of it and start typing, "Oh, what currency pairs should I trade based on what you're trading? What are you trading, man?" Or, "What are you trading, sir?" As the usual commenter would usually sound like, right? "What are you trading, sir? How much leverage are you using, sir? What forex pairs should I trade today, sir?" And that's the problem. And speaking of people who are Plzbros, what I've noticed growing up in Asia and having lived in multiple countries across pretty much the main continents that you want to live on, America, Europe, Asia, right, is that there is a overwhelmingly large representation of Plzbros coming out of Asia, from India all the way to Southeast Asia. And I think this is the section of Asia where the Plzbro exists in quite a large frequency. I'm not sure about places like Japan and Korea because they have their own, little mini internet, as we'll call it. They have their own language, have their own social media. But I'm pretty sure they have quite a number of Plzbros. It's just that I can't tell if they're overrepresented compared to the Western English-speaking world. But I sure as hell know that in India and in Southeast Asia, there's a shitload of Plzbros. Those people are out on the internet. You can see this for yourself. There's a job Discord that I joined a couple of years ago, back in the day when I was trying to make tons of money from working a job, right? And there's a bunch of sections that are broken down by continent, right? There's America, there's Latin America, there's Europe, there's Australia, New Zealand, there's Asia, and there's a specific, more specific section for India, right? Both those last two sections, right, Asia and India, are just full of Plzbros. They're full of people asking really, really easy, obvious questions that they could have gotten answers by just typing in the search bar. But no, they're wanting to know, how do I get this such and such job? How do I get a remote job? Where should I look for a remote job? You can see the quality of discussion in those two sections, right? Asia and India are just total, complete, steaming piles of shit compared to the other sections like even Latin America, right? North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Those people are having productive, deep, detailed discussions beyond these basic bitch questions, and getting through the interview processes and hacking all these different bullshit interview stages and whatnot. These are detailed, deep level discussions beyond just, "Oh, what job platform should I use for a remote job?" Even if the answer wasn't in the group. Again, you could have gone onto Google, gone into DuckDuckGo, gone into Yandex. There's so many different search engines out there. Or just gone into your favorite free AI tool. Even Twitter, aka X, has made Grok free for all their users as of a few months ago. You can go on any of these tools and ask these basic questions. What platforms offer the most jobs that are remote? Where do I find remote jobs? How is the remote market working for my region? You don't have to ask in these Discord groups, on these YouTube comments, on these Reddit threads, Xiaohongshu comments, whatever. You could ask those questions to an AI or a search engine and find those answers immediately. But no, these people are asking on that group, and in that context of that group itself, it's all questions, right? There's barely any answers, because that's another mentality that I will talk about in a future video. Not only is Asia oversaturated with Plzbros, it's also oversaturated with what they call the gatekeepers, or as I like to call it, the ladder climber pull-uppers. The people who climb up those ladders to success and then promptly pull up that ladder because God forbid anyone else emulate the same kinds of success that they have, or even emulate the same kinds of success and then go out to compete with them. No, that information is for me and only me. That mindset is super prominent in Asia as well. So guess what happens in the context of that job Discord? So many questions from Plzbros. No answers, no discussions, nothing. You can scroll back for months or even years in that little section for India and in Asia, and it's mostly questions, 99% questions. No answers whatsoever. So I'm on the verge again of going off topic because a lot of these things are just interrelated and you can't talk about one thing without talking about the other, which kind of leads on to another topic most of the time. But I'm going to end this video here because I've done my job. I've explained what a Plzbro is, and we're going to talk about all these other topics in more detail in other videos in the future. Hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. And before we end this video, I'm just going to read out what Louis has to say in the context of mobile device and Macbook repair and what a Plzbro is. You can find this exact definition and read it up for yourself on Urban Dictionary, which he has posted on. So Louis describes a Plzbro as someone with poor analytical reasoning skills who either cannot or refuses to learn fundamentals of logical problem solving and instead relies on canned solutions to problems from perceived internet gurus, primarily used in the mobile device repair industry, which he's wrong on that last line because Plzbros exist everywhere. And I will talk about Plzbros more in the future as I find them, as I get more annoyed at seeing them clog up the comment section, clog up the posts, clog up the threads that I read. And this won't be the last video. So thanks for watching. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.